Hello guys, hope you all are doing well today. Welcome back to my channel. Chelsea defeated Cardiff City in the quarterfinal of the EFL Cup a couple of days ago to book a place in the semi-final, as Chelsea have been handed either Arsenal or Crystal Palace in the semi-final of this season Carabao Cup competition. The semi-final of the competition is usually played double legs, as Chelsea will play either Arsenal or Crystal Palace at home in the first leg and travel away for the second leg. In this video, I will bring you up to speed with the latest happening on Enzo Maresca's situation regarding his outburst in his last post-match conference after the game against Everton, and also the very latest on what Chelsea is talking about, on what Chelsea is saying regarding transfer. So sit tight as I take you through the very latest of Chelsea football news. Let's dive into it. Check this out. The press conference theatrics aside, Enzo Maresca is believed to have been behaving normally, still working diligently and coaching the squad daily and preparing the players for the challenge of Newcastle away in the Premier League. This is coming from Carabao Cup. The report went on to say, right now, Chelsea simply want to get back to normality after an abnormal week and for the focus to return to the football. A couple of days ago, we all know that after the Everton game in the Premier League, Enzo Maresca in his post-match conference actually blew hot. As he said, he feels frustrated in the team because he lacked the support from the club. And lots of questions were being asked. Where is Enzo Maresca lacking the support? But Enzo Maresca, in that post-match interview, actually clarified the air. He said it's not the fans. Therefore, Enzo Maresca's frustration is with the club owners. And it was being established because if you take a look at the press conference Enzo Maresca had prior to the Carabao Cup quarterfinal game Chelsea played against Cardiff City, I saw a video clip and Enzo Maresca was asked if he had a problem with any of the sporting director. Enzo Maresca nodded his head, no. If the problem is with any of the club owner, and with his head signage, Enzo Maresca nodded for a yes. That simply means a yes, and that shows that Enzo Maresca simply have a problem with one of the club owners. But in all of this, report having that Enzo Maresca has been behaving normal and is being focused on the job as he has started preparation for the game against Crystal Palace. And Carabao Cup went on to say, Chelsea simply want to get back to normality. And that is just who Enzo Maresca is. Having said whatever he said in that post-match conference after the Everton game, in his press conference prior to the game against Cardiff City, Enzo Maresca doubled down because the journalists were trying to get clarity from what he said from that post-match conference, and Enzo Maresca keep emphasizing or keep saying there is nothing to add, that he has already said what he wanted to say, and that it's finished, it's ended there. So Enzo Maresca has still remained focused and trying to see how he gets things done footballing wise in the team. So that is the latest report regarding Enzo Maresca. So in all of those situations that was actually going on, the Chelsea owners remain very calm as they are still working ways to see if both parties can actually be on the same page. And the report went on to say, because now there is a new development on this, it's understood Maresca has spoken to some members of the sporting hierarchy. The planned summer review is not necessarily a case of deciding whether they should stick or twist with Maresca. It is considered more of an opportunity to look at where they can improve overall, what has worked over the last 2 years and what they could be doing better. Eventually, Maresca will speak with Egbali and Bolly, who are out of the country. So this is coming from Carabao Cup. So that is the latest situation on ground. Enzo Maresca have actually had talks with the sporting directors of the club, because currently now, the owners of the club, Egbali and Bolly, are currently out of the country. And they went on to clarify that the situation, the review that is coming up for Enzo Maresca at the end of the season, is not about whether Enzo Maresca will still remain as Chelsea manager or not, but it's just a situation to see how we can work out things and ensure that we actually get it better in a situation in areas that we have not been getting it right. But then we'll wait to see. If you believe this, at your own peril, because we have had similar situation. The report went on to say, there is no desire to suddenly deviate from the original plan to see through this campaign with Maresca and then hold a collective review to assess the 2 seasons together. Only an extraordinary fallout will force the club into considering otherwise. Like I said, it is good because as part of his contract terms, it was agreed that at the end of the second season, Enzo Maresca will be reviewed, and as such, the review will definitely come up. That is why the report we are getting at this point in time is that the review is not all about to see whether Enzo Maresca will be sacked or not, but it's just to see where we can improve on where we have been lagging behind. But like I said earlier, believe this at your own peril. But then anything can still happen. Why did I say that? This is Chelsea Football Club. It's the club we all support. Have we had a similar situation like this in the past? Of course, yes. I know a lot of us can still remember during the time of Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino actually started the season so rough during his time. But as the season progresses, at some point in time, Chelsea picked up under Mauricio Pochettino. And it was looking like Mauricio Pochettino might just actually scale through the review and retain his job, having got after a good job towards the end of the season. But after the review, we found out that Mauricio Pochettino was sacked. And that was where Enzo Maresca definitely come in. So we will get to see how all of this will definitely play out. But then, if you look at one thing in that report, it said only an extraordinary fallout will force the club to consider otherwise. Then, the big question is, what situation can be extraordinary? In my opinion, if Enzo Maresca failed to meet his target this season, because the target Enzo Maresca has been given again this season is to finish in the top 4. So if Enzo Maresca fails to meet his target this season, definitely Enzo Maresca will be sacked. There won't be two ways about that. But so far, I actually like the way Enzo Maresca has actually handled the situation personally. Even though his outburst was unnecessary, in my opinion, Enzo Maresca should have channeled his grievances in the right way than going to the press to actually blow hot after the win over Everton that weekend. So we want to see how all of this will definitely play out in the near future. In 6 months' time, the season will come to an end, and we'll get to know what the situation with Enzo Maresca will definitely be. So that is the latest situation on Enzo Maresca. What do you make of the situation? Do you see Enzo Maresca remaining as Chelsea manager towards the end of the season? Drop your thoughts down below. Now let's switch gear over to Chelsea plans when it comes to transfer, because Chelsea are already beginning to prepare for next summer transfer window. Check this out from the Telegraph. Breaking: Chelsea are identifying the midfield as a key area to address and researching potential targets ahead of the summer. Chelsea have actually identified the midfield as a key area to address. And there's no doubt about that. The midfield has actually been a concern. Going into this season, we actually thought we had everything both in the midfield and in the attacking line going for us. Sincerely, that was my thoughts initially. But if you take a look at it, we actually do. Because we're having the presence of Moses Caicedo, we have Enzo Fernandez, we have Dario Sugo, we have Romeo Lavia. And all of this player, we actually felt that with those players, we have a very good backup for Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. But injury have not been friendly, especially to Romeo Lavia. And let me not forget also, Andre Santos is there. And Andre Santos right now is the only player who has been giving Moses Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez the needed backup Chelsea needs in the midfield. And so, Chelsea currently now, as the report have it, have identified the midfield as a major area to address next summer. But who are Chelsea actually looking at? Check this out from Matt Law. Chelsea planned midfield summer signing to ease Caicedo and Fernandez workload. Chelsea have previously shown an interest in Kobe Mainoo and Adam Wharton. This is coming from Matt Law, that Chelsea have actually shown interest in Kobe Mainoo and Adam Wharton. Interesting. Adam Wharton, a very interesting central midfielder, I must say. If Chelsea are actually going for Adam Wharton, believe me, my support 100% is given. Adam Wharton will be a very good backup for Moses Caicedo, because Adam Wharton plays exclusively as a defensive midfielder. He can play as a single pivot, or he plays as a deep-seated midfielder in double pivot. So, Adam Wharton, interesting player, currently plays for Crystal Palace. There was a time Chelsea actually showed interest in Adam Wharton. As at that point, Adam Wharton was in Blackburn. But then, nobody knew what the situation would have been, because he was still a very young player. And currently, from Blackburn, he moved to Crystal Palace, and he's doing excellently well. He's the one that currently anchors the midfield for Crystal Palace, and he's doing very, very well. But then, and also, if Chelsea are actually having interest on Kobe Mainoo is not a deep-seated midfielder. He doesn't play as a DM, and also doesn't play as an attacking midfielder. Kobe Mainoo is one player that when you have him in your team, he doesn't win you ball, but it's one person that can keep possession for you and actually spread the pass. So the best position for Kobe Mainoo is that number 8 role. He plays as a midfielder. Kobe Mainoo neither play as a deep-seated defensive midfielder, or he doesn't play high up the line as an attacking midfielder. So Kobe Mainoo, in my opinion, Chelsea already have player in that position. Andres Santos is doing very, very well. But then, if Chelsea are actually going for both Kobe Mino and Adam Wharton, then there'll be a problem in the midfield because certain players have to leave. And in that position, who will leave? Romeo Lavia have been on and off the injury table. So Romeo Lavia might not just support it. And even Darius Hugo, which we have not actually seen much of him, might just be sold as well. But then we'll wait to see how this will play out. Because currently now, the three active midfielders Chelsea currently is having is Moses Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Andre Santos. So the reports have it. Chelsea are eyeing Kobe Mino and Adam Wharton. McLaw went on to say, other than at least one midfielder, Chelsea could sign a new centre-back in the summer, depending on exit and Cole's return form. Chelsea have already spent the entirety of 2025 boosting the attack, which will be further headed by Quenda and Emega. That's quite interesting to see. Quite interesting. There's no doubt Chelsea actually boosted the attack line. You can see the coming of João Pedro and also Jimmy Gittins and Gustavo William. That actually adds some spark in Chelsea attacking line up front. But then some of these players are actually yet to click in very, very well. Talking about players like Jimmy Gittins, Alejandro Garnacho so far have been doing very well. He's beginning to blend into the Chelsea system of play. But Jimmy Gittins, on the other way, yet to actually pick up. Gustavo William have actually showed us that glimpse of what he's having. But then playing time is actually difficult for Gustavo William because right now Pedro Neto is actually one of the best winger Chelsea is having currently in that attacking line. But we'll wait to see how this plays out in the near future. McLaw went on to say Chelsea could also make a move for a central defender. The club are likely to see how Leverkusen return from injury and whether or not defender leaves before finalizing their plans in that position. Malang Sarr and Aaron Anselmino will need to be assessed. Wow. So Chelsea could also go for a central defender in the summer of next season. But it all depends on the form in which Leverkusen will actually return with from the injury. But then Chelsea still have their eyes on their young stars that have been sent on loan. Talking about Malang Sarr, who is currently on loan with RC Strasbourg, and also Aaron Anselmino, who is currently also on loan with Borussia Dortmund. Those players will be assessed to see if they can actually come in and fit into the first team directly. But Chelsea have actually set one central defender as also a potential buy for next summer. So we'll wait to see how all of this will play out in next summer. All of this plan Chelsea are putting up are not for January because Chelsea have actually said it that no business will be done in the January. And yes, the report. Chelsea not planning to use the January window to improve the squad, barring an unexpected injury forcing them into the market. That is coming from McLaw. And the Telegraph also went on to say, barring injuries that force the club into the market or an unexpected opportunity. Chelsea do not, for emphasis, take note of that because it's boldly written. Chelsea do not expect to be able to use the January transfer window to improve the squad. So, as Chelsea fans, let's just take off our minds from Chelsea Football Club actually going into the market this January. As Chelsea do not expect to sign any player in the January transfer market. So what do you make of all the latest happening currently at Chelsea Football Club? Enzo Maresca not even perturbed one bit as he's going about doing his normal job and still focused on building the team for till the end of the season. And also, what do you make of Chelsea potential midfield target? Talking about Adam Wharton and Kobe Mino. Drop your thoughts down below. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Catch you in the next video. And bye.